Um, Hello, welcome to another episode of Geeking This. I am Peter. Join with me is my geek brother-in-law, Tony.
Hey everybody,
Yes, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing really good. And yourself?
Good, good. I just wanted to. It's been a spell since we done one of these.
Yeah, it's been a while. I can't remember the last time, maybe like a month ago or so.
Yeah, lots of news has broke. Lots of
It's
hearts
crazy.
broken before and amended. It's been a crazy
We've gone
in geek
through a
culture.
whole story. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's even other things on the horizon as well, which are new and exciting. But in today's episode, we're gonna actually kick it off just sort of as a refresher. We're gonna do a Virgin Ears topics. That's sort of our meat and potatoes of this whole show, where we geek out on stuff that the other person might not know about. So I have maybe a couple topics that I want to go for, and Tony has one as well. Uh, let's see. Mr. Tony, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. What is it?
What the heck? 9?
All
I don't
right.
know.
Well, that doesn't work on me. We can't really do rock, paper, scissors. Okay, you think of a number between 1 and 10.
Okay. Thought of it.
Is it 10?
No.
How far off was I?
Pretty damn far. It was 1.
Okay. All right. I was thinking of 6, so you were closer. So you will go first.
Okay. All right. Well,
That is the roulette that we do here on the show.
it's very fair and balanced over here. So yeah, the show I have to talk about, it's a TV show, and it's funny because a lot of times when I do these Virgin Years, it's something related to something that like I've either had a little bit of an interest in previously or something that kind of is connected to something I know about. For this one, actually, I don't know anything about the original um, works that created the TV show I'm talking about. The TV show is Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Nice.
And so what I mean by the fact that I don't think I have any connections to the show is I didn't even see the teenage whatever the original Sabrina show was from the
Sabrina the
90s.
Teenage Witch, yes.
Yeah, I guess that's the name of it. See, I don't even know the title. I never saw a single episode.
Good.
Um, and as a matter of fact, I couldn't tell you any character's name from that show other than Sabrina. So the reason why I started the show is it was introduced to me, and I thought that it would be kind of like sitcom-y, and that's kind of what I was afraid of. But
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, as I got to watch the episodes, it became clear really quickly that this is not your average uh, show in terms of like just what you see in television. And I guess it's because I don't know if it's like in a Netflix original or like if there was some other people behind it, but it certainly feels like very mature.
Cool.
And like it's doing things that I haven't seen done in television, and I feel like that's really unique. So they just go ahead and they just like delve straight into like Satanism and all these taboo
Oh,
topics.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, and it, like
So they're
and
going really serious with Sabrina this time around, eh?
yeah. So do you know anything about the original show?
I do, and it was definitely sitcom as you said.
Eh,
It's was in the 90s. I can't tell you if I even watched a single episode because it was like something my sisters watched, and like I didn't pay it any attention. But some more things about Sabrina. So yeah, this one's definitely a more realistic route. I haven't watched any episodes of this on Netflix, but I know where it's kind of going. So some sort of background knowledge that I have on Sabrina, just very limited. Again, I never watched a single episode of a show. I'm not a fan at all, but for some reason, I know things. And the things that I know is that it's actually was a comic strip back in the day, developed by the same people who did the Archie comics. They're in the same universe, even.
wow.
And
What?
I believe Sabrina was started out as a character in the Archie comics. Don't quote me. I have just base knowledge here. So and then it was supposed to be lighthearted and fun, which is why the '90s show is lighthearted and fun, right? But then we got this resurgence because there's Archie on CW now. It's called Riverdale, and that's like a super serious sort of Archie. Archie that's like a gritty sort of murder mystery. I think that shows what that show's about. And I had a question to you. I don't know if they explore it in Sabrina. God, I haven't watched Riverdale either, but I want to say Sabrina is a character on Riverdale, but I don't even know. Do you know of any connections between those two shows?
The only thing I can tell you is what Wikipedia's telling me. Because as you were talking, I found it interesting that this is all based off of Archie, which is
Yeah, Archie.
I I thought that was just like a comic strip that was like really lighthearted and like childish almost. So I saw that in the Wikipedia for Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and I guess it did it did start as or it was intended to be a companion series to
Yeah.
Riverdale. But then I guess something happened with the CW and it moved to Netflix.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
yeah, so that's the connection, I guess. The intention was to make it a companion to Riverdale. But I don't know because and as I'm watching this, first of all, I haven't completed the first season. I'm on I think episode 6 or something. And second, I haven't seen Riverdale myself either, so I don't know if there's a
Right, right.
crossover there. It would be interesting to learn if like once all said and done, I watch this one if I'm interested in watching Riverdale. Just
Right.
I don't know if I
There
would
might
gain
not
more
be.
from
There
it.
might have been a planned sort of connection because I guess it would probably been under the umbrella of CW. But yeah, I don't think there's a connection anymore.
Oh, interesting. Well, all I got to say about the show is I really like, especially around this time of year, like kind of like horror themed shows, and this one is really cool, man. Like I said, it really takes. It's like interesting because it's really graphic and it's also pretty serious, but at the same time, it's like kind of tongue in cheek at the same time. So it's like a nice balance of like, man, this is some crazy stuff that they're talking about and they're doing, but mixed with like a little bit of dry humor. So it's kind of cool.
I feel like Riverdale has the same tone, but I feel
Is that
like
right?
I'll be more into Sabrina because even Riverdale, I think is it's on CW, it's on public access television. So like, what could they do?
It's gonna be tame. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like Sabrina is more that style. What I do you know if I forgot. See, I don't even know that much about Sabrina, so I wouldn't know what the connections are to the old show even.
Well, I mean, I know that just that I guess in both shows, Sabrina has a cat, Salem.
Yeah. Okay. So is he there? Does he talk?
He doesn't talk in this one. She talks to him
Interesting.
though. So far, yeah,
Oh,
it's like
okay.
she like they understand each other, but it's I guess it's like the more like realistic version. Like instead of him literally talking, like they just kind of understand each other.
Okay. So yeah. So this is definitely like how Riverdale is a gritty reboot of Archie. This is sort of a gritty reboot of Sabrina.
Yeah, so I guess the best comparison I could make is what Netflix has done to the superhero genre, starting off with Daredevil, and treating them like as serious, mature characters, kind of like what Christopher Nolan did with The Dark Knight. I feel like
Yes.
you can compare that with kind of upgrading and making Sabrina the Teenage Witch into like a more gritty character who's like freaking super like dark, man. Like I'm telling you, like some scenes are like, whoa, you're allowed to film this. It's pretty freaking
That's
cool.
crazy. So my question is to you, as someone who might be interested into watching Sabrina. So I would put Riverdale's genre as I guess like what I said before, like sort of murder mystery, teenage murder mystery. What would you put? What was the genre or theme to Sabrina?
Damn, that's a really
It's
good
kind of hard
question.
to pinpoint these shows
I
to
I
these.
wouldn't really. I mean, because there's like, I guess it's a story about her trying to find a balance between. Um, it's a coming of age tale, kind of, and that's cliche to say, but like, she's really trying to like find which part of the world she fits in. and whether or not she wants to lean in one direction or the other direction. Because spoiler alert, she's like a half witch,
Right, right.
which I guess that's like the whole concept of the show. It's like, all right, so she's grown up as a half human and has all these cool friends in high school. So there's like a little bit of a high school drama that goes on there, but
Totally.
you add that with like, well, at the same time, like I need to pray Satan and or else like shit happens. So it's
Oh,
like
Jesus.
that's like interesting like dynamic where like you have this teenager who like has to make some really crazy decisions um with and there's like witchcraft in it, which is interesting to me because it's like a little bit like a tinge of like Harry Potter-esque, but like way more ramped up and mature. I would say it's like she's like, I guess a good way of putting it is like Bellatrix, like that
Oh,
kind of magic.
nice. So sort of more satanic almost.
Well, it's 100% satanic. Like
Okay.
they literally worship Satan. It's like
Oh, wow.
and so it's crazy. Like so when to answer your question, I guess I would say it's a high school coming of age tale and trying to like find out where she fits alongside these almost like, I'm not gonna say villain of the week, but like almost like villain of the episode type of feel.
Gotcha. Totally. So yeah, that's what I kind of remember from the show in the past was it's just sort of coming of age and but I don't remember there being any sort of backlash between her witchy world and her human life. So I think it was more definitely more family friendly then. So that's interesting because I think in that show all witches were like kind of good that they just had magic powers and it was like whatever. Like her family had magic powers. But it seems like she really has to make a choice in this series.
Oh yeah, that's like kind of like the whole, yeah, that's the whole bit. Just
Cool.
her making a choice. Yeah, man. So I don't know. Like, I think you can find out real quick if you're gonna like it just by checking out the first episode.
How about? Oh, okay. So were you sold on the? I was gonna ask you like what episode were you sold on? Were you sold on the first one?
Yeah, I was definitely sold on the first one just because like I was really, I guess a part of it is you know what would be interesting, Peter, is if I had started this show like say in summer or like even like in, oh, say February. I think a part of the
Like would
attraction
it
is,
land differently?
yeah, I think it's hitting the spot for damn sure right now, of course, because it's so close
Yes.
to Halloween, and literally the first episode's like about Halloween, so it's like just another like awesome first show to kind of store for future Halloweens, if you will. It's like I know I'm gonna go back to that episode again.
Cool. That yeah, that's a good question. Like I definitely do watch different things at different times. But yeah, that's probably something I'll definitely because I always saw it on Netflix. And I was like, I know of that. Somehow I know of these things. I just go through pop culture like osmosis. I don't know how I gathered this information, anyways. But I knew she was from Archie, so that was pretty funny. So yeah, I'll give it a shot. So other things that I'm watching this time of year, I'm actually just got started on American Horror Story on FX. Have you ever heard of that show, Mr. Tony?
Yeah, I went up to I think like the in no like maybe season 4. I think I
Oh,
stopped
for
like,
sure.
yeah, I went pretty deep into that show. I don't know why I stopped.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm usually on the tail end of bandwagons. What sold me this time around was at Comic Con. I told you about that American Horror Story sort of whatever they called those haunted trail mazes things. And that was pretty fun. So
Oh,
I was sold on that
yeah.
experience for the new season that was coming out. So I was like, yeah, I should probably start watching it now.
So wait, and are you basically saying that this is like your first time watching season 1, period?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I got
wow.
into late and I was like, I'm gonna give this a shot now. I was like, usually I don't buy into things and I don't know, just recently I've been into it's not just the time of the year, it's the whole year for me. I've been into more like spooky, creepy stuff. For some reason that's my jam this year.
Dude, that's so awesome. So what I can tell, well, how far into this season 1 are you?
We're about. I think we just passed the Halloween two-parter, so I think we're got like 3 more episodes and it's done with the first season.
Nice. So what I can tell you is that the first season and the second season are like out of the four I saw are like the best.
Wow,
Like they're really freaking good.
the first one's
Um,
really good. Yes,
the first one's
enjoying
yeah,
it.
it's definitely like the best. The second one's really good too, and third one kind of goes weird a little bit, but then they kind of bring it back in with season four. That one's also worth watching, and that's where I stopped. But they have one, two, three, four, five other seasons that I haven't seen. So you know what? I'm kind of interested when I finish Sabrina. I think I'll go back and see if
Wait, let's
it's
delve
any
in
good.
together. That'd be great.
Yeah, dude. So what do you like? Kind of what attracts you to the first season?
So hold up. I'll backtrack and tell you what attracted me to the whole thing. Because when I got
Yeah,
into that experience at Comic Con, I love that. I'm a big like Friday the 13th and like original Halloween, those kind of movies, like Texas Chainsaw. I love that stuff. And like that was the whole aesthetic for this new season. It was a American Horror Story. I think it's just a year. It's like 1984, and it's like all based on 80s horror movies. So I went to Twitter. I'm like, can I watch this season without having seen any of the previous seasons?
yeah.
And what the response is, they're a great sort of fan base. They everyone loves the show and like loves talking about it. And it's great about the seasons is they're like got different themes. Like this one's like
Yeah.
murder house and they're connected but not really, so you can kind of get into it.
You know, that's really interesting response from those fans because I would go as far as saying is they don't connect unless if you're actually looking for the connections.
Ah, that's cool.
You kind of have to go out of your way to be able to make the subtle connections click. Otherwise, it's
Wow.
just like really independent. Because I mean, sure they share the same cast throughout the seasons, but like it's completely different themes, like they were saying. And when it gets fun is when like you try and make the connections and like try and expand and make this one whole universe. It gets pretty fun because you got to go through a lot of hoops to like make those connections. At least that's what I've seen.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's what I was told, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool that it's connected but not really connected." So what you're saying? There's sort of like Easter eggs almost, or even like
Yes, yes. It's basically Easter eggs because some of the characters like change so dramatically, like from one character to another throughout the seasons, that there's no possible way they could be connected unless if
right,
like they share like one little article of clothing or something weird like that. Just an Easter egg.
right, and like yeah, I remember seeing this difference in season one because Zachary Quinto, who does Spock in the Star Trek movies, his character was completely different from what I've seen in promotional material for. I guess it was had to been like another season of the show because like wait, I was like wait, this is not the character I was expecting him to be in the first season
Oh, I see. Yeah, that.
because he's like a doctor in another season or something, right? In like the asylum.
Yes, I think so. In the Asylum one, he is kind of like. Let me see. Because you're really good with names, but I'm not. I don't even think he's in the second season. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I don't know what season that was from that I saw promotional material. I was like, oh, Zachary Quinto is in it. And I was like, oh, okay, so he's a different character in this one. So it's crazy that they have the same cast, but a
Dr.
different
Oliver
theme.
Thurston. Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Different theme each season and sort of very different characters. That's very interesting to see.
No, dude, it is really dope that they're able to do that. That is one of the coolest things about it. Um, I think in the later seasons, they started getting like special guest kind of appearances from like really famous actors or actresses, but I don't think I've made it that far yet.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to get going on
Like
this, and hopefully we'll meet up in a season that you haven't seen, and we'll both watch it together.
that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Um. So cool. Yeah. So I got another. So when we do these Virgin Years, it's like there's like a 50% chance that the other person might know it. Like Tony knowing American Horror Story, or me knowing sort of a base knowledge for Sabrina. But I have another maybe true Virgin Years. I'm not even sure. But I did post up a picture on the text, the picture um, with the killer in it. Do you know what that one is, sir?
What the hell is that?
Does
Oh,
that
is
look?
that a kind? Is it? Isn't that a?
It's a game.
Oh, it's a game. It's not a. Hmm. That looks like the mask that the dude from the movies wears.
Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, I think it's homage.
Okay. So,
So,
what game is that from, though?
all right, awesome. Great. So there's like a 50-50 chance, like I said, with these Virgin Years. So that is from Dead by Daylight,
Jason,
sir.
right?
That's actually
Yeah.
not Jason. That's actually just a killer that that these developers make in homage to these horror games. So have you ever heard of Dead by Daylight?
I have not.
All right, awesome. It was so refresh my memory because it's been a while since I had PS Plus. Do PS Plus free games stay free for the whole time, or you have to wait, or there's like a time limit of like they're free for a year and you can't play them again?
No, as long as you're able to redeem the vouchers for that particular month, then they're yours as long as you're a PS Plus member.
Well, so, but you can't backtrack and get like previous months or anything like that, right?
No, no. Once, so they only like have them available for like 30 days, and then once they're gone forever.
Ah, sucker. Okay, so this was a free game from last year, come Halloween time, actually. Dead by Daylight. It's also on Xbox Game Pass, which is Xbox's like subscription. You pay $10 to get this library of games that you can play from. So what Dead by Daylight is a 1v4. I think it's 1v5. God, I forget how many survivors there are. It's a 1v5 team-based multiplayer game where one player plays the character of the killer, and the other ones are survivors who are just trying to survive the night. What they have to do is power up generators to open the exit to leave.
Hmm. So it okay. Kind of explain that again. That sounds
So how it goes? So basically, all the multiplayer maps are procedural generated, and you don't even know who's going to be the killer or who's going to be survivors. You just kind of it just happens,
roll the
and you don't
dice.
even know what killer it is. One of the fun things about the game is while you're playing and trying to survive, whoever gets that first sight of the killer has to tell you what the killer is, so you can, because different killers do different abilities, so you got to figure out what the killer is to sort of combat him, or well, you can't really fight him. You just got to survive.
So is it like kind of like what the hell? How okay? How long is the length of the game? I guess is the first question. Because is this like
So I think the match is about, it's like a good like 15 minutes for the match, but as long as he kills everybody, it can. I've had matches that go the full length of the thing, or where the time just runs out and the person escapes. I've had matches that lasted like 2 minutes because the killer finds it and kills everybody. So it's
wow?
very really various, and so the maps aren't procedural, but the generators are. So you have to work with your team, find the generators, turn them on, and get to that exit as soon as possible. And survivors have their own sort of abilities as well. Like there's one who is like a mechanic and he's better at fixing things, and one who is like a med student and she can heal you faster.
So so I understand you can play the survivors, but did you say that you one of the people can actually be the killer?
Yes,
That's
and
awesome.
so not only are these really cool killers that pay a homage to slasher killers or horror killers from movies past, that these developers made like original characters, but also there's the DLC with this game is freaking fantastic. I haven't bought anything because I've just tried it on Game Pass. But let me there is Clownface from Scream, who is a DLC character.
Yeah, I'm looking at the pictures. That's amazing.
You got Freddy, who is also another DLC character.
Jesus.
You have Mike Myers. The only person you don't have is Jason from Friday the 13th, because he has his own game. Which, if you ever played Friday the 13th, the game, it's very similar to Dead by Daylight.
Now, I see some DLC here in images in Google for what looks like Stranger Things. Is that just fan art?
No, there's DLC for Stranger Things. There's the Demogorgon as a killer. You get,
Wow.
it's not one of the kids. Shoot. I gotta think back to my Stranger Things knowledge. It's the girl usually with the bat. I forget what her name. Will Byers' sister. She's in it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I forget her name too. But that character's in it. Also, while we're talking about Survivor DLC, there was a free Survivor DLC in the form of Bill from Left 4 Dead.
What?
Yes. So he was free. He's awesome. Looks just like his character model in Left 4 Dead. I've been waiting for Left 4 Dead 3, so Dead by Daylight. That'll work for now. Another DLC character, of course, is freaking Ash from Evil Dead.
What? So how much are the? Is each character basically like a DLC, or is it like bundled or something?
No, so you can get like it's pretty much like what all the games are doing nowadays, like the season sort of bundle pass. But you can pay for separate, DLC characters if you just want to drop like $5 for one person.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Dude, so would you say it's like all right? Because I'm looking at PS4 Plus. Would you say it's worth $29 for the game?
Well, why I bring it up, good sir, is I've been favoring my Switch as of late, and it just came out for the Switch at I think it was last week actually.
Really?
Yeah, so this one has a $40 price point. You get all the DLC that's already came out, and yeah, it's just I think a superior version of the game.
Why? Why do you think that?
Well, just because it comes with all the DLC from before. As of right now, there's not like another version of the game, or like there's no like Game of the Year edition where you can have all the DLC. Only the Switch version is that.
Whoa, that's pretty cool. Dang. And you would say like, dang, I'm kind of interested in this, man, like a lot.
It is. God, I don't know how to get an analogy for it, but it can be really hard, but it can be
Okay.
really rewarding at the same time. If like you got a good team of survivors who know what they are doing, you can get out of there lickety split. It is kind of like Left 4 Dead minus the zombies and the weapons.
So you can't really defend yourself per se. It's more
No, you
strategy.
legit have no weapons. The only thing you can do is you can knock down like things to put in the way of the killer. You can booby trap if you have the ability. You can booby trap the killer's own traps. Also, you can get the only thing that you can use as a weapon is like a shiv that you can find in boxes and treasure chests. And what the shiv does is if the killer grabs you, you can use that to stab the killer and run away.
Oh, okay. So it's all just mainly strategy.
It's all survival, yeah. So and the killer is just immortal. You cannot kill him. Yeah, it's really awesome. I love the lore about it. So a little bit about the lore is the killer somehow you get thrusted into this situation as survivors. I like to describe it as sort of Cabin in the Woods. You remember that movie?
Yes, loved it.
It's basically like that, where you get thrusted into a situation you're trapped in with a killer. The killer, what he does is he doesn't just like kill you. What he does is he puts you on sacrificial hooks to
Oh shit.
sacrifice you to a dark entity in the fucking sky.
That's insane. That's
Yeah.
fucking.
So when
That's
you're
crazy.
on the hook, you can get saved, of course, but then it's like a cooldown, like in Left 4 Dead when you're like crawling. It's pretty much that you're like injured when you're off the hook, and you can be only rescued from the hook so many times till it's like an automatic sacrifice. Yeah.
So I understand that it's 1v4, but is there any way that you could do like a split screen
No, unfortunately,
local?
there needs to be more couch co-op games. Oh, the days of Left 4 Dead. God, I miss that so
Yep.
much.
Yep.
But yeah,
Dang.
it's simply one player, one screen, and multiplayer
All right.
online, of course.
Well, can't have it all nowadays.
Yeah, definitely not. I don't know why.
Dang. Oh well. It's all right,
But
but it still seems really cool. Like,
yeah, so they keep on coming out with DLC for killers, like the Stranger Things that just came out, and it's just a really fun game that I instantly got addicted to when I started playing, just because of even like the majority of the time you're gonna lose. It's hard to find like a team of skillful survivors, even if they are skillful. The game is sort of leaning towards the side of the killer because it's way easier being a killer.
damn, that's that's pretty cool, man.
But yeah, so my idea is uh we you and me and maybe Edgar too, we get a little our 3-man survivor team going on the Switch so we can try to survive these situations.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad call. Three. So then we would, I guess, have one more person we would need.
Yeah, one or two more randos. I forget if it's 1v5 or 1v4.
One rando.
Yeah. And yeah, so the characters are pretty cool. You get it really is sort of just got that Left 4 Dead feel to it. You got like a character who's like snarky and is a gambler, so that was like the Nick. And it's just really fun getting to learn. Like you'll figure out what survivor works best for you, and yeah, it's really fun. Um, so there's only another game just like this, which is Friday the 13th, the game. And that one you can, if you have smart enough survivors, you can actually kill Jason. But I like to relate those two as like Dead by Daylight's definitely the more sort of how do I put this? It's more of like the sort of esports gaming league type game, where
Hmm.
Friday the 13th is more sort of casual.
Would you? Well, I guess it's not really an easy comparison, I guess, but like, which one would you like say has more replay value?
It has to be Dead by Daylight, unfortunately, because with Friday the 13th, you only know who the killer is. It's going to be Jason every time. I think the different Jasons have different abilities, but it's still just Jason. Whereas in freaking Dead by Daylight, like I literally don't know where I'm gonna be, who is gonna be the killer until the map actually loads, and then I actually see the killer.
Damn, that is pretty cool, and that is an interesting, fresh take every single time.
Yeah, and like in this one, you get some really cool. I like to just be a diehard or try hard or whatever you call it, and I try to help as many people as I can. If he got someone in his clutches, I try to be a distraction. If he puts someone right on the hook, like the second he puts them on the hook, I try. There's things you can do. Like I can take a person right off the hook as he's putting it on, and just like we just need a skedaddle.
As soon as you get on the hook.
There's just like hilarious situations. Oh, okay. Here's a good one. Oh man. So you can't tell unless you have a certain ability that lets you do it. You can't tell where other survivors are if you're
Okay.
playing as survivor unless you physically see them. So here's a situation that happened. I was getting chased by a killer. It might have been Michael Myers. There's a places you can hide. You can hide under beds. You can hide in like closets. So I went to hide in this closet because the killer was coming, and we were kind of working together to fix a generator to get it turned on with me and another player. So I went to hide. The other guy actually got chased by the killer. They were running around, but I was hiding and I was safe. Unfortunately, my fellow player came to the same area I was, tried to with the killer, mind you, right behind him. I don't think he knew, but with the killer right behind him, and he opens my closet and he sees my character. And when you try to get into some place where another person's hiding,
They kick you out?
the character just kicks you out. So
Oh my god.
he got the guy I kicked out, and then he came into the closet and killed me.
Nice. Dang.
It was just ridiculous.
He's like, what are you doing? That's freaking crazy, man.
Yeah, so it's been reaching this high for me that I've only got since we like played Left 4 Dead in the past. And I miss those sort of moments of chaos.
That's saying a lot, dude. Jesus. You know? Like Left 4 Dead status, that's crazy.
We need that Left 4 Dead 3. I need it badly. I would love.
I do
I don't
too.
think it's ever gonna happen. Unfortunately, it kind of went the way of Half-Life 4. I don't think we'll see it again, but man, that'd be so cool.
No, but this game sounds really cool. It would be awesome if they were to come out with like a sequel, say, and then that one had like co-op abilities. You know, that's all. Like,
That's all it really is missing. That's all any game's missing nowadays.
I agree 100%. Yep.
Bring back that couch co-op.
Yes, please, everybody. I'm willing to pay more even. Screw your DLC. Just give me a DLC for couch co-op, and I'll pay 100% of the price of the game. There, I said it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad we had both spooky things for right now. I'm gonna say my other spooky thing for a Halloween episode where we can bring on Edgar as guest star, and yeah, that'd be pretty awesome. So we gotta talk about the elephant in the room, or I guess the spider in the room that is scaring the elephant.
The life and death of Spider-Man.
Yeah, the Spider-Man news that jerked us around all day. Or not all day, all months.
All summer.
Yeah, all summer. There you go.
Roller coaster, man. I don't think I've ever had another roller coaster with as that I was as invested in as this one. It's been so crazy.
So yeah, so now we have a yes. Before we had a hell no, he's not in the MCU. Now we have a yes. What's interesting is when I listen back on our past podcasts, a lot of that are things that I think we were sort of predicting. I think that still applies. So as of right now, the news is there's going to be a Spider-Man 3, which was in the MCU, and then Tom Holland's going to be Spider-Man in a non-Spider-Man MCU film, which is probably like another Avengers movie.
Wait, I think that last part was said a little differently. I think the last so far film that's officially agreed to is going to be a non-Spider-Man movie, but it is going to be the MCU, right?
Yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah, sorry, that's it. So he's in 2 movies that we know of continuing on.
Yes.
Now
and
my question.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was going to just say, the obvious thing to say for me would be, does that mean that Spidey's done afterwards and then it's straight to Sony, or they're just gonna have to renegotiate at that point?
That's a very good question. Yeah, that's sort of what I was wondering too. Is like, did we just prolong the inevitable? Is this still gonna happen? Or
correct.
What's going on?
Correct.
So what I think, what I see is, I think they'll have to just fight for him to be in other MCU films. What I feel like might happen is maybe he'll be in other MCU films, but the last Spider-Man movie that we get in the canon of the MCU, I think will probably be this next one, will be Spider-Man 3. And I feel like after that, rather than him coming in as like a side character in like no other Avengers movies, I feel like what we predicted in like the sort of Spider-Verse Venomverse, those sort of trilogies of movies. I think that's going to be Sony's own thing.
I think that makes sense. I think that's definitely the ball that they're wanting to keep on to, is all the other properties being connected. So I think maybe that makes the most sense, which is he kind of finishes his growing up in the MCU, and then now he is like the Spider-Man that everybody recognizes in terms of like his strength, power, and experience, and he carries that over to the Sony world where they start building little kingdom of movies that eventually connect with like some sort of grand whether like you just said it's Venom is included, Spider-Man's included, and oh by the way, all the other previous Spider-Mans are included. You know, that's
Yeah,
like the grand ultimate finale probably for Sony in their vision, I would suspect.
yeah, that's definitely it. Do you
It's
see?
kind of like thank you for like exposing him, Disney, you know, and giving him exposure. Like we'll take it from here.
Totally, it's sort of a tit for tat kind of thing. Do you think his inclusion in the MCU, do you think it will stop, or you think they'll be able to borrow him from Sony every now and again?
I think Spider-Man, yes, but all the other properties, no.
Okay, so like, oh, we're gonna use Spider-Man here and there, but we don't need Venom. We won't use that. You guys keep that. Um, so yeah, I feel like that's how it's gonna happen. So it's sort of good news. I guess it's good news
It's
because I
good.
don't think
It's good
I think
news.
I have hopes.
Hey, before a couple days ago, we thought we were gonna like have no MCU Spidey. So you know,
That is very true. That is very true. So it's yeah, definitely some good news. What do you? Let's make predictions here. What do you see as what's going to be Spider-Man 3's sort of timeline and story, and then what is going to be the other MCU film he's going to be in?
that's a really good question. I kind of feel like they gotta cap off the high school days, so maybe it'll be like off to college, and in that kind of theme, I think it's gonna be. It'd be cool if they introduce. See, it would be kind of quick to use them and lose them, but maybe if they wanted to kind of be one and done, they could use Norman Osborn, kind of
Oh my
introduce him.
goodness.
Maybe like introduce him as like a, and then maybe they have like a fight at the end of the movie, and then that carries over, and then Norman could be the big baddie for like an Avengers type movie.
Or I love that idea. Also, Norman has famously died in the comics, right? And his mantle has just been
Yes,
taken over.
by
So,
Harry.
or you can go that right. Then you can say, oh, maybe it's Harry. But I've remember in previous incarnations that maybe it wasn't always Harry. It was like something else going on. So he can
Sorry.
always
Yeah,
didn't always like the Green Goblin came back, and it was always a mystery of who. Like Peter had to find out who was behind it each time.
yeah, basically.
So that would be kind of cool. I love that sort of. That would be a good cliffhanger. That would be a good way to one and done it. I shoot. So where would you see the Sinister Six coming in? That would be more of a Sony thing.
Yeah, at this point, I think it's gonna be more Sony. I don't know if. I don't know if there's time with two movies to kind of do a Sinister Six movie.
Cool. Hmm.
What do you
Been a
think?
while since the comics. I was gonna say maybe Sinister Six would be this movie. Would the overall leader of it is that Doc Ock, or do you? Who is the overall leader of the Sinister Six?
Well, typically it was the Kingpin.
Oh, right.
He's the one who kind of gathered everybody together because he had the money. But we haven't seen the Kingpin though. I don't think
That would
in
be
MC.
that would be even. I think that I okay. So I'm gonna I was gonna say do Doc Ock and the Sinister Six, but I'll re-theorize. I would say bring in Kingpin for the last movie. He introduces the Sinister Six because we already have Scorpion in there, who did not make an appearance in Far From Home. We got, of course, the Vulture. We got the Tinkerer, I guess, if you can count him in there. and then maybe you do introduce sort of a Doc Ock or another character. But that
Well, there's rumblings of Hydro Man being in the background too, because that was like a comment.
that'd be
Remember
great.
what? So we kind of have like the raw ingredients now. Whether they take it and combine them, I don't know. But what would be really freaking cool? You know what would be like a dream is if they get the Daredevil and the Kingpin from the Netflix series.
Don't
And
you
just
don't you play like that, Tony? Don't
I
you get
know,
my hopes up.
I know, but that's just that would be like perfect idea.
Oh man, totally. But yeah, totally. Do you? So they're going off another MCU tangent with Daredevil and the Netflix Marvel series of shows. I think there's a rumor out there that that's coming back, but not coming back on Disney Plus, rather, but coming back on Hulu. And if they did
What?
that, if it came back and then they brought him into Spider-Man, oh my god, that would I don't see it happening, but I would love to see it happen.
Yeah, man. I mean, I kind of feel like all things are possible now that Spidey's back. You know?
Yeah, that's true. We could always leave that door open. And as for that Netflix stuff, what I imagine would be happening is I think Daredevil's coming back. I think Jessica Jones is coming back because those were sort of their big hitters. Those were really got a lot of views, and I feel like they're going to combine Luke Cage and Iron Fist into a
Iron.
Heroes for Hire series.
That would be cool. I like that. That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, I think that's the route they go. To condense, or they can straight up just do a Defender series.
Yeah, well, they did that, and I guess it didn't work out too well because they didn't bring him back.
Yeah, that was kind of a one shot though. Maybe like an ongoing thing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I liked the show. It was pretty cool, even though
I
it
do
ended
like
kind
it.
of
It
weird.
got a lot of flack, didn't it? For some reason, I loved it.
It did. I thought it was good.
Man, but yeah, so just the prospect of new Spider. I mean, there was always a prospect of Spider-Man, but a prospect of Spider-Man being in the MCU. What I hope. So we did our Spider-Man 3. Now I want to do. What do you think the non-Spider-Man movie that's going to be included in the MCU? What do you think that movie is going to be?
See, it's gonna have to be something that's pretty pretty close to the what? Okay, what's the next phase?
Phase. I don't know. Infinity phase. uh, phase 6, phase 7,
Is
something
it
like that.
is it phase 6
Yeah,
or
it's yeah.
phase 5? Because well, whatever phase that the Black Widow movie's gonna be in, that's next year. I feel like Spider-Man has to be a part of that phase because I don't think they're gonna push it out that far in advance. So it's not gonna be in a Avengers movie, I don't think, unfortunately, because I don't think they're gonna do one of those until freaking Phase 7 probably, because they already released the timeline for Phase 5, right?
Yeah, it's
So
already
we
out there.
know what, so we know what it's gonna be. So I think the question really is, out of those movies, which ones do you think he fits in better? It could even be the Strange movie.
I was thinking that. I was thinking that as well. I was also thinking of a movie that's not listed there. But I want to hear your thoughts. Anything else besides the Multiverse of Madness with Doctor Strange? You see Spider-Man fitting in?
Uh, Let me see. I have it. I just brought up the list. So here's the movies that are already announced: Black Widow, Falcon, and Winter Soldier is the Disney Plus TV show. I think the movie is Eternals and Thor: Love and Thunder, and then the Doctor Strange. Yeah, I think the one
It
that
has to be Doctor
it
Strange
has
on
to
that
be.
list, right?
Yeah,
Well, that's cool. And then maybe he gets thrust into. Maybe that'll be a perfect segue into. Hey, he's in the Sonyverse now. We tossed him in there.
yeah, probably.
It's
Because
like, oh no.
what are you thinking?
So yeah, I think yeah, like at the end of the Multiverse of Madness, he gets pulled into the Sonyverse, or like we were like, that'd be kind of a cool cliffhanger. I'd be like, oh no, what happened to him? Like we don't know, and maybe we get an end credits with him. But other than Doctor
Wow,
Strange, the
I
one
like that, by the
thing
way.
I've seen who's he's been friends with And the one thing I feel like it's going to be a sleeper sort of reveal because they haven't announced it. And I believe are we on phase 4?
Yes, currently is. Well, I think this one just ended. Endgame ended Phase 4.
Ah, god damn it, that doesn't fit. But
Why?
but my idea is of the movies that aren't listed. I think Spider-Man would be great if he's included into a Fantastic Four movie.
That would be so. He's such a big part of that family too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So I wish they could find a way to carry those guys over because man, I can't only imagine what they would look like in MCU.
God, yeah, it's gonna be. I'm more excited for the prospect of that than. I mean, I'm excited for the stuff that announced, but then, like as a fan, you get excited for the things that are announced and the things that are yet to be announced.
Yes,
We're
that's exactly
constantly
what
looking ahead.
Mm-hmm. We
So
can
yeah,
never have enough.
totally. How about any other like one of the movies not listed? Where do you see Spider-Man coming in?
Um, you know what would be really cool, and probably gonna get some flack for saying this, but I think if we can do like a serious justice to another live action like Spider-Man TV show on Disney Plus, that would be
Nice.
perfect because that would really allow him the opportunity to grow and do a lot of character development, and then you can kind of slowly build a really sound story arc for like a really important character. Like you could do Harry Osborn in there, and then they become friends in college, and then kind of cap it off with one last um, movie.
Or 6 or something. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
man, that is very interesting.
you could
In
even like take
a day,
the Deadpool characters, you know.
ah man, that'd be fantastic. In a day and age where we have Disney Plus now, I never thought we would have, like, for instance, a WandaVision show or the Falcon and Winter Soldier show where it's actually the freaking actors from the live action films coming back in
I
a
know
show.
that's weird. Yeah,
That for some reason, for me and Tony's generation, this is unheard of.
this is completely rando. Like
Yeah.
it's amazing. Like to have Loki be Loki, like that's a
Yeah,
great.
this breaks our brain because then me and Tony's age, we had, of
We'd
course,
be
Disney
lucky if we had like.
sequels.
Well, sorry to speak over you, but I was just gonna say we'd be lucky to have like a shadow of like a person, and we'd be like, "Oh my God, did you see that? The outline looks like Captain America's shield. Like that must be him."
Just even referenced, yeah. But I was gonna say, like, we had Disney sequels that were straight to VHS that didn't have any recording of voice actors or actors in it.
We just kind of like, oh, I guess his
He
voice
sounds
sounds
a little
different.
different, yeah.
He's sick. He's sick today.
So that's what we're used to. So just this prospect of what Disney Plus can bring is just really freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, I honestly, I've said it before. I said it again. Unfortunately, I'm hooked. I need Disney Plus just for those shows.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm excited for Mandalorian. I'm even excited for the format that they're saying they're going to release weekly episodes rather than dumping them all at once.
Oh, that is really cool. I like that too.
So we'll actually get something to watch every week because I'll burn through Mandalorian and then I'll be like, well, I guess I have to wait for the next thing.
Next season.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Cool,
So
man.
we got high hopes coming up
That's
our
right.
way. I think that's going to be it for us here. Any last thoughts, Mr. Tony Sir, or any other predictions you got?
No, I think I've said all I need to say with respect to these topics.
Fantastic Four. That's fantastic.
Nice.
I can't literally I can't wait for a new edition of Fantastic Four. I think there was a rumor that it was even just going to be a Doctor Doom movie, which would be freaking interesting as well.
Oh yeah, that alone would be so cool.
Yeah, we need to do it justice. I think they need to be seen in a more serious light. And like, I even kind of liked the first one with Chris Evans's torch. I kind of like that. That was the only thing we had back then, so I liked it.
Right. That's a good way of putting it. That's like the only thing you had, so that's all you could compare it to.
Yeah, man. All right. So that's gonna be it for us here at Geeking This. Man, you keep it on this same geek channel, same geek time, and yeah, we're gonna be geeking out some more.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening, guys.